Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari and today I'm here to tell you that your vision of reality is faulty. I'm going to read a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna explains the three levels of how our reality distorts our perception of life, of things. We're going to see how material energy affects consciousness in this Bhagavad Gita verse. And why is this important? This is actually a major theme of yoga. It's a major theme of the Bhagavad Gita. Because what the Bhagavad Gita is saying is that, look, you're living your life, you think things are okay, you think you understand what life is, but you don't. You're covered by what we call Maya. You're covered by this illusion and you're not perceiving reality correctly. You're going about life considering the wrong things to be the objectives, not understanding who you really are. And thus you have to practice yoga, hear this knowledge, hear Bhagavad Gita, so you can come to see things as they really are. So this is a major theme of the path of yoga, of the path of spirituality all over the world. So let's check this out. This is verse 38 of chapter 3, and it goes like this. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir yathādarśo malena yatholbenāvṛto garbhas tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Translation. And this translation is from the book The Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive by Jeffrey Armstrong. Just as fire is covered by smoke, a mirror is covered by dust, or an embryo is covered by the womb, so varying degrees of material energy constantly distort the discerning faculty of human perception. Okay, so Krishna is saying, look, there are he's giving three levels of distortion of the discerning faculty of human perception. Your capacity to understand things. Three levels. And the three levels given here are smoke covering fire, dust covering a mirror, and a womb covering an embryo. So let's take a look at that. So what's Krishna talking about? Krishna is talking about the gunas. So in yoga and the philosophy, in the Vedic philosophy, yoga philosophy, we have the description of the three gunas, which are translated as the modes of material nature. But I like in this case sticking to the Sanskrit. It's a simple word, gunas. So just stick with gunas because there's no really good translation for that. So the gunas are three. You have sattva guna, raja guna, and tama guna. Now, the idea about these gunas is that the gunas are the foundational principles of material reality. They make up material reality. And they have a different influence. These three have different kinds of influences on consciousness. So let's see what they are. In sattva would be the smoke covering the fire. Because when you have a fire, there's some smoke. When there's a fire, there's some smoke. But you can basically see the fire. The smoke doesn't get in the way of the fire too much. I mean, it distorts a little bit, but basically you can see the fire. So there is a bit of distortion, but there's a lot of clarity. You can see the object, you can see things as they are. You can see the fire. So this is sattva guna. And that's why a lot of, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna dedicates a lot of time to explain what we have to do to live in sattva guna. And in my book, The 3T Path, I describe everything you need to live in sattva guna. Things include the kind of diet you have, not eating animals, sleeping well, taking care of your physical health, taking care of your mental health, living in clean environments, in organized fashion. So these things are all sattvic. The way you speak, the way you behave, lots of details about sattva guna. Why? So that we can have more clarity. When you live in sattva guna, you give yourself a chance. You give yourself a fighting chance to overcome the illusion of the material world, to overcome what's called Maya. Without sattva guna, there is pretty much no hope of overcoming illusion, there's no hope of being a yogi. So that's why Krishna goes on about sattva guna so much. You really need sattva guna to give yourself a chance. It's not actually yoga yet, but it gives you the chance to practice yoga because it gives you that mental clarity. It gives you less distortion of your faculty of perception, of human perception, and thus you can start studying Bhagavad Gita and you can start seeing reality as it is with this extra information from yoga, from meditation, from Krishna's blessings. Then you can start actually being a yogi. So that's why sattva guna is so important. So that would be the smoke covering the fire. Then the second level is the dust covering the mirror. So the second level is rajas. Rajas is this kind of energy you see a lot in the world. It's this go-getter energy. You want to be rich. You want to get that thing. It's what I call in the 3T path, the fantasy paradigm, where you're always thinking, oh, if I buy this thing, if I earn that thing, if I get that job, if I'm going out with that person or that person, then I'll be happy. And you're always like going for something, hankering for something in the future, or you're lamenting about something in the past. So you're always you're outside of the here and now. This is what I call the fantasy paradigm. Your mind is living a fantasy. It's not connected with reality. You can see that, your perception of reality has been distorted already because you're not even in the here and now. Your mind is like living something else. Now in Rajas, that's what you want. Rajas, you want fame, you want money, you want power, you want to conquer, you want to do these things, you want to be better. That's Rajas. So Rajas is like this dust covering the mirror. Krishna says with this kind of Rajas influence, sometimes you can perceive things correctly, but other times you don't. Again, it's the dust in the mirror. So it's a really dusty mirror. There's like a little bit of dust. Imagine this mirror has been sitting in the attic for like 10 years. This is like serious dust here. So now, you can kind of see yourself, but you don't really see yourself properly. The great Saint Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, you have to clean the dust of the mirror. Why the mirror? Because so you can see yourself, self-realization. You have to use the holy names and the practices of bhakti to clean the mirror so you can see yourself. Same idea, the dusty mirror. They like using this example of the dusty mirror so you can clean it and then you can see things properly. So in Rajas, you're just a bit agitated, you don't see things properly, your perception of reality is distorted to some degree. Okay, you can see a little bit, but you get it wrong as well. And then the last level is the embryo covered by the womb. So now, this poor embryo covered by the womb, there is no vision. What does that represent? It represents tamaguna. So tamaguna is the darkest, heaviest influence of the gunas. It's the darkest guna of them all. So tamas is violence. It's craziness. It's insanity. It's just, you can't see things at all. Krishna explains that in tamas, you get everything wrong. What you think is right is wrong. What you think is wrong is right. You flipped everything over, Krishna says in tamas. And that's why tamas, you can see, it's just like you just don't feel things. You're just completely disconnected. That's why it's the violence. It's what surges. Violence and anger comes from tamas. And you can see why. Like, for example, if you want to eat, one of the tamasic habits is eating meat, eating animals. Because can you imagine, your mind has to be closed off, like the little embryo is closed by the womb. Your conscious has to be closed to reality so that you can just kill. You don't mind that billions of animals are living a hellish life and being killed. That in the process, the Amazon forest, all these wonderful forests are being destroyed, to raise the animals. You don't care that the whole planet is going to hell. This is raising temperatures, destroying the planet. It's like, nope, I don't see anything. Just give me another steak. That's a lot of tamas going on. You're really closed off. You're just not seeing. Distortion of reality is complete now. You're not seeing anything. You don't care. So that's an element of tamas, tamaguna. So you're like the embryo in the womb, just not at all perceiving reality. So it's very dangerous indeed. So what we have to do is, we have to practice sattva. That's why Krishna dedicates such a huge part of Bhagavad Gita to describing what sattva guna is, so you can start living. And in the 3T path in my book, I give you all these habits. You can start cultivating these habits, and then you'll see what a huge difference this is going to do in clarity of mind. Because the closer you get to sattva, the closer you're getting to the smoke covering the fire situation, where you know, there's still a little bit of distortion, but you can see things so much better. I mean, you know, compare the little embryo in the womb with just a little bit of smoke covering the fire. You can see things much better. So as you cultivate sattva, you give yourself this fighting chance to elevate your mind, to perceive reality as it is, and thus to be able to practice yoga and then increase your consciousness further and further, uplift, expand your mind further and further with the practices of yoga on top of the sattvic lifestyle. So let me know if you understood this, and if you have any questions, leave below. I love hearing from you, and have your rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.